What's going on, guys? It is Trev_H, and today we're going to be looking at one of the brand new hunter exotics featured inside of Witch Queen, the Blight Ranger. Now, the Blight Ranger is for all those who absolutely love deflecting Arc Strider, just can't get enough of it, because its perk reads, attacks you redirect with your Arc Staff, deal massively increased damage, and generate orbs of powers for your allies. Now, massively is no understatement. It absolutely increases this thing a lot, and I'll go ahead and show you guys what. We went ahead and dived into the Grasp of Avarice dungeon to fight that ogre, just so you can get a steady stream of really easily deflectable damage. And the results are super interesting. So let's go ahead and dive into it. Now our first DPS on the ogre is just going to be no exotics. Just deflecting Arc Strider, hitting for about 426 per deflected bolt. Now this super, while deflecting, lasts 10 seconds, almost exactly. So total damage of just under 40,000 over 10 seconds. You get 4,000 damage per second. Not the greatest, obviously. Most primary weapons do way more than that. But now let's go ahead and throw on Blight Ranger. You'll see that damage jumps up to 2,555 per deflection. Now he stops shooting at us, probably throws the numbers off a little bit, but the super still lasts just about 10 seconds. You'll see we're at 230,000 damage over 10 seconds, which results in about 23,000 damage per second. What all those numbers mean, you'll see that the base individual deflected shot goes from 426 damage to 2,555 damage, which is a 600% increase. Probably one of the highest damage buffs we have in the game. Brings the total damage from 40k to 230k, again 600% there, and the DPS 4k to 23k, 600% there. We'll dive a little bit more into what this means for the exotic in just a second, but I want to go ahead and compare it to Raiju's Harness, which almost halves the speed at which your super deflects, which is pretty obvious. It's going to result in about double the amount of damage over the double amount of time. And you'll see we'll get a really good damage cycle in here, hitting almost all those bolts, maybe a couple catch the thrall. There's that 81,000 over 20 seconds, resulting in the same 4,000 damage per second. And a lot of people have been using Raiding Flux for a really long time, so it doesn't really need much introduction. But just in comparison's sake, what you're looking like deflecting versus actual damage output. Now, I don't get a perfect damage run in here. I miss a couple attacks just slipping underneath the ogre, stuff like that. Try to proc the lightning current as much as I can. $613,000 damage over 15 seconds. We're hitting about 40,000 damage per second. Now, should you use the Blight Ranger? I'll go ahead and say I don't think you should be using this in extremely high-end content, Grandmasters, maybe Master Raids. It does seem to have a place. Maybe a hunter sits in front of that well, gets that 25% damage bonus on top of that. It helps deflect to protect their teammates, get some ingoing damage. But in all actuality, you should probably just be using well. You're probably not going to die in well super easily. Get some damage output. You can do better than a lot of these numbers with a lot of really good special weapons, but definitely with some heavy weapons and over a lot longer period of time. If you compare them to the other hunter exotics, they just don't quite stack up. They're all really different, but I think the biggest issue here is Arc Strider in high-end content, but also specifically deflecting Arc Strider. There's really no reason to deflect, and this exotic was trying to give a reason to deflect in PvE, and I just don't think it succeeds. You will one-shot deflecting supers back at people in PvP if that's important to you. That's really the only situation I could see it being useful for. Other than that, I hope to get a review out soon for the other hunter exotic. If you guys are interested, please let me know. But yeah, comment down below what you thought of the review, if I made a mistake, if I could have done something better. But yeah, I hope to see you guys in the next one.